Be honest. Did anyone expect Fallout Season 2, Episode 4 to casually drop the biggest lore bomb since, well, the actual bombs dropped? Because I sure didn't. One minute we're watching Cooper Howard struggling in a snowy battlefield, the next minute a Deathclaw, yes, a full-on Deathclaw, is ripping through Chinese soldiers like someone hit the Predator cheat code. But here's the real question. Why was a Deathclaw already alive before the Great War? Why was a weaponized apex monster strolling across Alaska like it was clocking in for a shift? And most importantly, why did it spare Cooper Howard like it recognized him? This isn't just a creature reveal. This is the show quietly saying, hey, remember everything you thought you knew about Fallout lore? Yeah, about that. Wait, Deathclaws weren't radiation mutants? For decades, players assumed a pretty simple formula. Nuclear bombs plus wildlife equals nightmare fuel. Rad roaches? Sure. Rad scorpions? Absolutely. Yao Guai? Terrifying but logical. But Deathclaws? The kings of the wasteland? The monster that makes even ghouls go, nope, I'm out. We were told, or at least heavily led to believe, that these things were mutated Jackson's chameleons. Cute, right? But Episode 4 basically kicks down the door and screams, nope, these things were military-grade weapons before the bombs. Because think about it, why does the Deathclaw emerge exactly when Cooper is cornered? Why does it annihilate the Chinese soldiers with surgical precision? Why does it walk right up to Cooper and let him live? This isn't some wild animal. This is a soldier, a designed soldier, and that raises the next question. Who designed it? Spoiler, it rhymes with the US government. America made Deathclaws. On purpose. Let that sink in. The Wasteland's most unstoppable killing machine wasn't a tragic mutation. It wasn't a fluke. It wasn't nature gone wrong. It was a government project. The Alaska Flashback doesn't just hint at this. It screams it. The timing, the behavior, the selective mercy, it all fits perfectly with a long-standing piece of Fallout lore. Deathclaws were engineered by the US as bioweapons. Why let radiation do the work when you can build your own Godzilla? And honestly, is anyone surprised? This is the same country that greenlit Vault-Tec science experiments disguised as survival bunkers. The same country that programmatically manipulated its own citizens. The same country that escalated the resource war like it was trying to unlock a STEAM achievement. Deathclaws aren't the government's biggest mistake. They're its biggest success. Terrifying, but successful. Fallout's America was the real villain. Again, and here's the darkly hilarious part. Fallout doesn't even pretend anymore. Episode 4 does 3 things at once. 1. Confirms the Chinese were the enemy in the resource war. No more ambiguous reds. It's straight up Chinese forces. 2. Exposes power armor flaws, because nothing says superpower, like your prototype armor locking up mid-battle. 3. Reveals the US was building biological superweapons. At this point, Vault-Tec must be thinking, wow, the government is making us look responsible. And the Deathclaw sparing Cooper? That wasn't mercy. That was programming. These things weren't trained to kill everyone. Just the right people. You know, the ones not wearing stars and stripes. And then, New Vegas happens. The episode brilliantly bookends itself. It begins with a Deathclaw saving Cooper's life. It ends with a Deathclaw hunting Lucy and the Ghoul in New Vegas. That's not a coincidence. That's symbolism. The monster America created before the war is still terrorizing what's left of the world after the war. The sins of the old world didn't die. They evolved. And the Ghoul's reaction? A man who has seen every flavor of horror the wasteland can serve? He panics. If a 200-year-old cowboy zombie thinks the only option is run, you run. Deathclaws are the perfect Fallout metaphor. At the end of the day, Deathclaws embody Fallout's core theme. Humanity didn't ruin the world with bombs. Humanity ruined the world long before the bombs. The Deathclaw is living proof that America wasn't defending itself. It was escalating. Science wasn't controlled. It was weaponized. The wasteland wasn't an accident. It was the bill coming due. The nuclear apocalypse didn't create monsters. The monsters created the nuclear apocalypse. And the Deathclaw? It's the final receipt.